Hi everyone, it's Jamie, the Law School Thrifter. Thanks for tuning in today. Today we're going to do something a little different than normal. My past videos have been primarily haul videos, and then I started doing sales videos so that people could actually see what was selling. I received a ton of requests, people asking me about the actual process of selling, questions about photography, listing, things like that. Also, questions about what kind of products I use, as far as backdrops, lighting kit, mannequins, things of that nature. So I thought today I would do a more practical video and sort of give you a run through on how I do things from start to finish, as far as, when I first get the item into the house, what happens with it after that, the photography process. I think that these videos are really good to watch. I have actually been selling on eBay for 3 years, and I still enjoy watching other sellers sort of process videos, because every single time I think, wow, that's a much better way of doing things. I'm going to try that out and see if that works better, quicker, more efficient. For instance, there's my absolute favorite seller on YouTube. Her name is Emma. She's just another, I think it's called Just Another Seller is her name. And every time she has a new video up, I watch it because I learned something new. She does a huge volume. She's a great seller. Like I said, I think it's really good for new people to watch, and then people who have also been doing this for a while to see, how other people are doing things. So right now we are up in my eBay studio. I actually have a bedroom in my house designated for my eBay photography and listing. This is also where my assistant works, actually sitting at his desk where he does the listing. So let's go ahead and start. I'm just going to briefly show you around the studio real quick and tell you how I do things. Okay, so this is my studio. Really nothing very fancy. Once an item arrives in my house, I sort it according to, what type of item it is, if it's a sweater, if it's a, pants, something like that, and then I sort it by size. And here's why I sort by size. It's because I have a few different sized mannequins. This one is actually technically a dress form. So this one is for the smaller items. I list small to medium size clothing on this particular dress form right here. She's actually a size, I believe, 4-6, but things that are smaller obviously still look good on this dress form. And then I also have this one, which is for the larger size items, and she is a size 8-10. So obviously anything, size large or up will go on this. Even plus size clothing look good on this one. I also have a male mannequin, and so the first two dress forms I showed you, I actually purchased from Amazon, and they're good quality. They've held up a really long time. The small one was actually the first dress form that I ever purchased, and I've had that for 3 years and it's still in really good shape. So this is the male one that I got. So another really great place to get dress forms is from mall stores that are closing. So the Aeropostale in our local mall was closing, and I went in there to buy some clearance items, and I actually didn't find any, good deals on clothing to resell, but I found this guy, this male dress form, and I wanted one, and I got a good deal on him. He was $40. I think the two female ones I just showed you were about $60 on Amazon. I'm going to try and find a way to post links to these things. I'm not sure if I can do it on YouTube. I might be able to do it in my blog so that you can actually see, the links to the items, the things that I purchase. And then this is my full body mannequin. I love this one. This I also got from a clothing store that closed in Grand Rapids. It was a Delia's store. I don't know if any of you remember that store. They went out of business, and I think they ended up getting bought up by someone else, but they closed all their retail locations. So I went and bought her. I think she was like either $80 to $100, but it was a good deal because she's of great quality. I use her a lot for photographing dresses or coats, something that you would need to see the full shape on. It makes a big difference to your buyer to be able to see what it would look like on. Also, I love the full body ones because it's nice. She's about 5'1", and when people send me messages, as they periodically do, asking, do you think this item would fit me? I'm 5'4", whatever. Then I can say, on the mannequin, she's 5'1", and that gives them an idea. So it gives them an idea of how that would fit them. I also have these plastic ones. I really honestly don't use these often. These are great for when you're starting out and you don't necessarily want to invest in a dress form or a mannequin right off the bat. They're pretty inexpensive. Again, they came from Amazon. I've got a male one and a female one, and actually like a little family of them because I also have some little kid ones too. But so anyways, so after the items are sorted and I basically decided which dress form or mannequin to put the item on, then I come over here to my setup. Let me back up a little bit. I use these umbrella lights that were from Amazon. I've had these for a few years. I probably need to purchase a new set. I mean, they've just been used so often. I mean, it's breaking a little bit, but for the most part, they've held up super, super well. They work very well. They really accentuate the items. So let me turn them on for you real quick. So the item that we've got right here is a top. Well, it's like a tunic type top. And I also have several of these backgrounds. I also purchased these from Amazon. I have them in many different types. I periodically will switch them out when I just kind of get sick of looking at the same one, but this is one I've been using for a while. Like I said, I hope to be able to post some links to these things so you guys can actually see. Okay, so I start with the top. So I always do. I use my iPhone for listing, always. I've been using my iPhone for photography pretty much since I started back when I had like the iPhone 5, and then I've always upgraded my phone as new iPhones have come out. And the photography has always been really great. I get compliments on my photography, so I know it's clear and concise when I use my iPhone. So anyway, so how I would photograph, I would take a series of photographs of the item. So the first shot would be obviously the front of the item, like the full item, the full length and everything. Then what's really nice about these dress forms is they swivel very easily. I take a shot of the side. So I do a side shot. Then, of course, I'll do the back. So generally I have about 5 shots per item. So I do the back, and then I would actually take the item off of the dress form and take a photograph of the tag, and then also the fabric content tag on the inside. And that usually includes like the washing instructions so that people can see that. So there's usually about 5 photographs. I mean, if it's like a really elaborate pattern or it has some beading or something, then I'll do like a close-up on that so that, you know, I can capture the detail. It gives people a better idea. So generally, I know that a lot of people prefer flat lays, which is when you just lay the item flat and photograph it. I am not one of those people. I actually really dislike flat lays. I think that the problem with flat lays is that people are not flat. We're not made out of cardboard. So when your buyer is looking at your items, you want to make this as painless for them as possible. Like, why should they have to imagine what that would look like on a human form? Now, that's not to say that all flat lays are bad. I think that some can be done really well. It generally works on something like a jacket or a sweater, something that maybe has more like structure to it anyways, so you're not making the buyer use a lot of imagination because it's not going to look much different on the mannequin than it does flat. But something like this, I think, would be kind of a mistake to do a flat lay because you want to see the shape of it. I mean, look, it has a waist, you know, to see like what it looks like with the chest and everything. I just think that's invaluable. So that's not to knock people who do flat lays. Some of them look really good. I just personally do not prefer them. I tried them for a while. I just don't think that the sales are the same, especially on items where you really need to see the shape of the item to give the buyer a full picture. Okay, so here are some of the tools that I regularly use. So I love using a steamer. So this is a Conair steamer, handheld steamer. I've actually gone through a few of these, but they generally hold up for, you know, a little over a year. So they're like $30. So they work really well for me. I like that it's handheld. It's super easy to use. You just plug it in, make sure you have water in it, and you're good to go. I also always have a lint roller handy right next to where I'm listing or photographing, sorry. And that makes a big difference, you know, especially when you have like a black item that has a ton of lint on it, you know, you gotta have that. Okay, so I generally store most of my stuff in my basement. I do have some things up here that I store, like I've got like the bras and some little things. My daughter likes to hang out up here with me, so I have a tub of books and toys that she looks at and plays with. I have a ton of accessories. So back when I first started selling, I would a lot of times accessorize something that I put on the mannequin, like with a necklace or something, and then just to give an idea of the look. And then oftentimes people would even ask to buy the necklace, which was really cool. I've kind of gotten away from that mainly because of time issues. So pretty much now my daughter she loves to play with these and play dress up with them. So it gives her something to do while she's up here with me, because I really am not the kind of person that likes to just, plop her in front of the TV or something like that. I like her to be very involved, and she really is. She loves it. Okay, so this is where my assistant sits and works. This is his desk. Well, I guess my desk too. But so he lists from here. So after I photograph the items, I throw them all in a basket and leave them by the desk for him. He comes in generally while I'm at school, and he already knows like the stuff in the basket is the stuff for him to list. So let me just kind of show you real quick like what he does. So he's in my eBay account, and I have all these templates of items. So he will go to, whatever kind of item it is. This one says, sorry, that just went dark. This, for instance, says women's sweater. So automatically here, this pops up, the title. I've already put in women's sweater, but I've given him a template to follow. So what he's going to do is he will pick up the sweater and look at the brand. He will enter the brand. So the actual template will be, okay, let's say Free People. So let's say it's a Free People size small sweater. So he's going to enter Free People, and then I've already got women's sweater, and then he will enter size small, and then the color. So those are just the basics. I have him enter. He's been with me for a few months now. He's getting a lot faster. He's getting a lot more knowledgeable about clothing. So what I created for him was a style guide. And he can go through, and when he has an item, he's not sure about the style, he can look it up. There's pants, tops, everything. And this has been enormously helpful. And so he went from doing about 25% of the title to now 75%. So it makes my job really easy, because after he does the template, then I'm able to, wherever I am, oftentimes I'll be at school and I'll start seeing the drafts popping up. So I'll be able to immediately add the photo and then go ahead and add, whatever it is that he missed that, I specifically want in there that he wouldn't know that I wanted. Okay, so this is also how we do our inventory. So there's this custom label line, SKU. And what we do is we have an inventory system that is letter and number based. And we use these little stickers. So basically what he does is he will go by the sticker, whatever one is next, enter it. So this is like T44. He would enter T44 into the SKU line. Then he takes the item and bags it in one of these guys. And okay, this is where the Instagram community helped me out of a huge bind. So I had a lot of items to list one weekend. Previously, I was ordering these plastic bags from eBay, and they weren't like super expensive, but they certainly weren't cheap. And I had ordered the incorrect ones. The wrong ones came. So I was in a bind. I needed to list these items. I needed to get into inventory. So I asked the Instagram community of resellers who are super amazing, you know, what kind of bags I can get in a pinch. And so many of them were like, okay, you need to go to Walmart and get these bread bags. They're cheap. They work just fine. You know, just buy a bunch of those. They come in 100 pack. So I did that, and that brings me to another point. If you're not on Instagram as a reseller, that is a super positive, helpful community. I've met the most amazing people over there. I'm personally on Instagram. I'm Law School Thrifter is my username. Or in my About section on YouTube, you can find a link to that. So I highly recommend getting involved over there if you're not already. Super important. So anyways, back to, sorry, that was an aside. Back to the process. So after my assistant, you know, goes through and puts in the SKU and everything, you know, he goes through and also enters all of the item specifics, the material, the style, the color, blah, blah, blah. Then this right here is what I use for my template description. So all he has to do is just follow it for each individual item. So for sweaters, I say underarm to underarm, that measurement, the length measurement, and sometimes the measurements are different from item to item. So for dresses, for instance, I would also include the waist size, the waist measurement, and then for like coats, jackets, I also include the sleeve. So then, so after he does that, we generally do fixed price, GTC, good till canceled. He does not do any of the pricing. I do the pricing. So after he does the draft and saves it, I go through, I do the pricing and all the fine kind of details that he basically wouldn't know how to do. You can also set your shipping. So I have a specific sweater shipping policy that I have the price set at. I don't do a lot of calculated shipping. I like things to be pretty uniform. And when I do have to charge for shipping, I like to give a discount. So I wouldn't do calculated. I would do something, you know, standard for shipping a sweater. So I still charge, but just not much. So then my assistant will, when he gets to the weight, obviously I have a little scale here for him. He will weigh the item in the bag. Then he enters the weight. Super easy. Then he just goes and hits save and continue later. So that saves it as a draft for me, and I am then able to, like I said, go in and, you know, add all the details that he is not able to do. Another word on the little bags. So, of course, we're very environmentally friendly around here. I do not, as of this time, ship the item in the bag. I know a lot of people do for like the extra protection and stuff, but to be honest, I've been doing this for 3 years and I've never had something get damaged in the package where it could have been prevented by having the extra bag. So I reuse these after the item sells. I take it out, I throw these into another bag, and we just reuse them because that's how environmentally conscious we are around here. Okay, so hopefully I didn't miss anything. The next step is we're going to go down to the basement. I'll show you my inventory system and how we pull inventory. Okay, everybody. So now we are down in my basement of my house. I'm fortunate that I have a pretty large basement. I know some people have issues with storage, and I have to tell you, when I first started selling, we lived in a really pretty cramped apartment, so it almost felt like we were just like literally sitting on items. So when we moved into our house, it was really nice to actually have the room to you know, have to house inventory, and that's how I was able to really expand my business. So we're down in the basement. It's kind of a Michigan basement. It's not a finished basement, but it doesn't have the dirt floor, so I'm appreciative of that. So what we have is I, first of all, alphabetize the bins with the clothing in them. Okay, so this is K. And then obviously the number range of items is 85 to 99. So what we do is after the item sells, we will print a list of items, including the SKU number, which we talked about earlier. And we just come down here, and if it's, say it's, you know, K85. So we will just look through the bin, find K85. There it is. There's the item. Collect it. I usually bring like a little tote bag down with me. Stick it in there, and then it goes upstairs where we can print the label and ship. So this video today has already been pretty long, so I'm not going to do the shipping process. I'll do a separate video for that if people want that. But I just wanted to give you an idea of how I organize the inventory, just sort of the process. If there's any other kind of process or something you want me to do, just, you know, send me a message in the comment section, and I'll see what I can do. I want to make these videos as helpful as possible, so I hope this helped you out. Oh, another thing too is if you store things in the basement, my dad had this really great idea because it's kind of dim. He bought one of these like little clip-on lights from Lowe's. They're really cheap, and it really helped illuminate the space, so we were better able to find things. So as always, enjoy the rest of your weekend and the upcoming week. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them in the comment section and I will try to address them. And thank you so much for watching.